Hello, lovely ravens. Don't worry, you're not going crazy. I'm not Chantal. She's got a cold. So today you get husband raven voiceover. In today's video, Chantal made thrush pogs from Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. These frames came from a thrift store. Not sure what it's like for all of you, but in my family, thrift stores have been the go-to destination after bookstores. I mostly look after Liliana and check out the toys and the books, but Chantal is always looking for something for her next project. Now, because plastic can't go in the oven, the bases are made out of wood using a laser cutter. I have to say that the X tool has been a really cool addition to Chantal's creative space. There's a link to that down in the description box if you want to buy one for yourself. She used it to make the amazing Hogwarts field guide in her last video. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely check that out. I have to say, I never realised how much alfoil goes into sculpting, but it makes a whole lot of sense when you think about how much clay would have to be used otherwise. Here you can see that she's wrapping the foil with masking tape. The foil is quite lumpy and bumpy, so this will give the smoother texture to work with. I haven't seen this show, despite being a huge Jim Henson fan and quite a lot of nudging by Chantal. But I do know that it's visually stunning. The creature Chantal has chosen to make, the thrush pog, is described as exemplifying the connection between all life. It's both a plant and an animal, and it's interconnected by a nest. They inhabit trees in groups, so you're going to notice that Chantal is making 3 of them. As you watch the rest of this video, you will see all the little details about these creatures come to life. They have a slender neck that terminates in a round stomach chamber. At the top of its stem, it has 2 petals that pick up vibrations just like our ears do. The shell or nest, which you saw Chantal making earlier, anchors the creature to a host tree. The thrush pog shares everything with the tree in exchange for shelter and safety. Okay, time for a little trivia. I'll pop today's question up on the screen now. Let's see how many die-hard Dark Crystal fans there are amongst you. Chantal's favourite character from the series is Deet, who is a female gelfling of the Groton clan. While I was learning a bit about the thrush pogs when Chantal told me what she would be making, I came across a scene where Deet had befriended a Fizzgig. By the way, if you haven't googled that guy, make sure it's the first thing you do when you finish watching this video. After falling asleep, Deet gets attacked by something. The answer will be revealed toward the end of this video. So, in case you haven't worked it out by now, Chantal only gave me a few things to talk about for her process, so I'll do my best to fill in some of the blanks. Up to this point, what she's done is use alfoil to create the shapes she wanted and wrap them up in masking tape. Now, she's making the ears, the petal ears, using some wire and masking tape. I thought this was quite an interesting process while I was editing the video because it's such a tiny piece of the whole, and yet it's such an elaborate piece. But the effect is amazing, and the petal ears look so good when she attaches them to the main creature. For those of you who've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that we recently moved. We were previously renting, so Chantal was unable to really make her studio space her own. But we bought this new house, and she's got a nice size studio upgrade. And there's still some work to be done, but I know that she's looking forward to sharing a studio tour when it's all finished. I really love her new desk, which you can see here, and it's this cool modular thing that she came up with, so keep an eye out for that in the tour video whenever it comes out. If you didn't know, Chantal has a second channel where she makes journals and unboxes subscription boxes and that sort of thing, but it also has her vlog content. If you want to see more of what life is like in our family, you can see some of our adventures chronicled over there. Moving was a really big deal for us, so we didn't film much of that. Actually, I don't think we filmed any of that. But if there's enough interest, we might do a bit of a house tour and maybe a local area tour in an upcoming vlog, so let us know in the comments what sort of vlog content you might like to see. Okay, thank goodness I have more instruction notes for this next bit. After she finished with the alfoil and the masking tape, she then covered that with liquid Sculpey so that the clay has something to adhere to. She uses Cos clay because it stays flexible after baking. So you can see here in the video, she's applying the liquid Sculpey and then she's sticking the clay over the top of that. So once she has finished covering the creature in clay in its entirety, the next thing that she does is gets out some white powder, which is cornstarch. I was wondering where my stew thickener kept disappearing to. So the clay was rather sticky, and using cornstarch reduces that. So now she's able to smooth out the clay without leaving fingerprints. And I have to say that's a cool tip because I would be leaving my fingerprints everywhere. I find the texture creation part really such a cool process. You can see Chantal using an old paintbrush, and then here she's using this weird roller thing. She actually made that herself to create the specific pattern and design that she wanted for her creature. And here we can also see her attaching those petal ears onto the top of the head. So it really is starting to look a lot like the Thrushpog from the picture at the beginning of the video. Now these eyes are small black glass beads. I don't know who needs beads this small. My eyesight's pretty good, but there's no way I'd be threading that onto anything. Now this next bit here is the whoopsie portion of the video. Chantal thought it would be a really cool idea to colour the creatures with chalk pastels before she baked them. So you can see here she's painting some of those pastels onto the side of the creature. But after she tried that out, it turned out that she was going to need quite a lot of product. So, pro tip, bake first and then paint them with acrylics. All the paints you see being used here are by Green Stuff World, except for the dark brown paint, which comes along a little bit later, which is by Deco Art. If you're ever looking for any of these products, you can check out the link in the description box below to the Amazon storefront. Chantal's got all of her favourite supplies in there, so you can always check that out and find anything that you might need. I keep telling Chantal that people quite like watching just people paint stuff. And I know that Chantal has quite an interest in doing miniature painting. She has quite a amassed collection of miniatures that need painting. So if anybody's interested in seeing some more just content with Chantal painting and creating things, whether as a live stream or just as a video with some music or her just chatting about process and things in the background, please let us know in the comments, because there really is quite a lot of those sitting in a drawer somewhere that could do with some time and dedication. Here's that brown paint I was mentioning before. This was the Deco Art paint. So once Chantal's finished with the nest, you can see that she will head towards the frames. She wanted to make the frames darker so that it would more resemble the forest from the show. And so here you can see her painting the dark green across that. And once she's finished painting the green, she uses this really neat technique where she applies some metallic beeswax. That's by Via Decor, and she uses the colors of copper and old silver. So whether you like the Thrushpogs themselves or not, although I have to say they are pretty cute, the frames, once she's finished using these beeswax things, look really, really amazing. So for anybody who watches this channel, you will know what's coming next, because the one thing that Chantal cannot do a project without is moss. So you can see here as she's finishing up the piece that there is some moss being glued onto the side of the frame. I hope you've enjoyed the process, so let's check out the final reveal. And how cute are these things? I can't wait to see where they end up in their final destination in Chantal's new studio. Thank you all so much for your incredible support for this channel. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check out her second channel and her Instagram, and leave a comment on this video. Both Chantal and I try to respond to as many comments as we can, and we love hearing all of your suggestions about what you'd like to see. So be inspired, create something, and know that the world is a brighter place with you in it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.